What I'm doing today is I'm doing a review, and I'm giving support to a local guy that's a supplier of mine that I've used many, many times, and I want more people to be aware of him. And that guy's name is Kevin, and he's known as the Comic Doctor. He's in Durham region, which is outside Toronto, Ontario, for anybody who's watching this from more remote regions. And what he does is he heads around to a lot of the local shows. He knows a lot of people in the market, but he's a real nice guy, real straight shooter. And what he does is he does cleaning and pressing of books. And for those of you who want to follow him on Instagram, I'll put up a screenshot here of his Instagram tag. Do so. He does a lot of really good work. I've sent a lot of books to him over the years, and a lot of them have come back. Prices are very reasonable, and I keep them separate from the rest of all my books, because if anybody ever asks me in the future saying, well, which ones are your cleans and pressed books, I want them to be able to say, these are my cleaned and pressed books. Keep them separate so nobody ever say, oh, you didn't tell me about them. Whatever, I am telling you. So I keep them separate, and really, I'm quite happy with the results. He reboards, he remylights them, he does some fantastic work, he takes his time on them, he gets them done right. And that's what I really appreciate about this guy. But the other thing I really appreciate about him is he doesn't blow smoke. If he's looking at a book and he's like, this isn't going to go anywhere, he'll tell you. Now, you can still go ahead and have it cleaned and pressed, but he'll tell you flat out, this is going nowhere. Don't waste your time. One of the things that I specifically was testing here, and I wasn't even planning on making a video about this one, but I decided to when I saw the results, was with regards to spine roll. I sent a lot of silver and modern books off to Kevin and been quite happy with the results. This is the first time I've sent a Golden Age book. And what was the impetus to this was I saw an Instagram posting of his where he was showing a pre and post pressing process to correct spine roll. And I'd gone out and bought myself a book, not a high value book by any means, Kid Eternity #3. Really weird origin on Kid Eternity. I don't know what we were thinking in the 70s. You kill a kid, then he meets gods. It's weird. But we thought differently in the 40s. So it's a really cool book, but terrible spine roll. I'm going to show you, like, this is my thumb. Picture the book lying flat under here. The spine roll came almost full way around to a full 90. And what that led to was, if this is the bound edge of the book and this is the chop block, this was like that. There was almost a full ½ inch of spread from front to back cover on it, which is totally not cool. And the result was we ended up with a book that just looked weird. So the second book I sent in wasn't one that had a major spine roll, but it was one that, quite frankly, just had a living crap kicked out of it. But it had a bit of spine roll off to the one side. And that was The Death of Earth 2 Batman. This is an old adventure comic, not a high value book, a book that's been on my radar for over 20 years. And when I saw it, I grabbed it. I'll put a clip at the end of this where I actually talk about how I grabbed it and really my feedback to comic dealers out there about the etiquette of wall books. But that'll be another posting at the end of this one. And the third book I sent down was a book I picked up out of a bin at a show. Actually, if it was in really good condition, it's an okay value book. This one was in terrible condition. It literally looked like somebody took a pencil, threw out it, and it just looked like crap. The only reason I bought it was because I wanted a lower grade copy to contrast against my high grade copy that I already own. And that was the first appearance of Isis in DC Comics. Horrendous beatdown went in on that book. The bottom corner of this thing literally looked like somebody had taken it and just mangled it with a hammer. It was garbage. But they went in looking really bad, and they came out looking really good. So I'm going to stop talking about the books, and I'm actually going to flip over here, turn the camera around, and I'm going to show you guys what the books actually look like. Okay, so here's the three books that we're talking about here. So the first one here that you're looking at is the Golden Age book. This is Kid Eternity #3. I'm going to pull this forward a bit. I'm going to show you roughly where the spine roll went to. So you see that U, you see the A, right in between there was where the furthest curve was on this. The actual back cover was sticking out like this far, and this was curled right up. It was nasty. And you can see right here, this is nice and flush. There's the staple right there, back at center, back at center. Now, granted, it's a black cover, really hard to get these to continue to be in good condition. You can see down here, yeah, it's got a little bit of indentation. It's been chipped along at the corner, but you know what? This was an important book for me. I'm glad I've got it, and this came out looking phenomenal by comparison to how it looked when it went in. Got this from a store where they really treat their books like crap. You know, you get to the point where you almost say, I wish there was somebody I can call and say, hey, stop treating your books like crap, but nobody's gonna listen to me anyways. All right, so here's the second one. Adventure Comics. This is the death of Batman vs. 2. Not a high value book, but again, one that I've been looking for a long time. Again, is this a wall book? Well, look at the fading up here. I'd say no. And given the amount of damage, look at so many spine ticks that are breaking color over here. Now this one, again, printing error. You can see clearly your lettering is going around it. But compared to how this looked when it went in, Kevin did a fantastic job. I'm quite happy with this. And this, by the way, is the Mylight that it comes back in, boarded and bagged from when he does his job. So good job on that one, Kevin. Final one here. The first appearance of ISIS in DC. Listen, it is what it is. This thing had the living crap kicked out of it. But I'm amazed. You can't see them here because they're gone. All the indentations that were all throughout the cover from where somebody just stabbed the crap out of this with a pencil, pressed right out. Yeah, it's got creases, you know, they break color, what have you, and this was folded right into the interior of the book right over here. But I'm not complaining. This turned out looking fantastic. The staples are a little offset. This had some nasty spine roll. Yeah, you got to correct it back out. And I think you can really see how bad this degree was when you see this. This is the staple here. How far this pushed out. And this is the corner I was talking about that just got mashed with what looked like a hammer. But all in all, this is how she turned out now. Is it a high-grade book now? No. Is it a mid-grade book now? No, not particularly. Is it a hell of a lot better than the low grade that it was at before? Yes, it was. So 3 books. Honestly, quite happy with the results. Kevin, great job. Quite happy with you. I'll continue to bring you work. I'll continue to say positive things about you. And for anybody who's wondering and who's nervous, maybe you don't want to call him because you're, have issues just randomly talking to people. He's a really nice dude. Very straightforward. He's friendly. He's personable. And there's a reason why he gets along with so many people. So trust me, you can call him. He's a nice guy. Without it. What's that, Nathan? Yeah, that's right.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Oh, you think so, eh? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to... Okay, so as promised, I said I'm going to give you guys a little clip at the end of the video where I actually walk through the etiquette of wall books. And this particularly relates to the adventure comic issue that I showed you guys in the video here. And I warned you, I said that book was in rather rough condition. Somebody had beaten the living tar out of that one. Weird hair. Beaten the living tar out of that one. And I'll tell you, this is where I'm going to go off on my rant. And this is going to go out to the dealers out there with regards to the etiquette of wall books. A lot of people will walk into, the uninformed buyers with too much money and too little brains, will walk into a shop and look at the wall and go, I want that. Give me all those. And the reason why is because they're in there buying key comics to add to their collection. That's fine. Most of them will never look at those books. Those books will come home with them. They'll go in a box. They'll be their investment books and they'll sit in a cupboard somewhere. And then years later, they'll get them out to look at them and they'll go, holy crap, how did I buy something that had a living crap kicked at it this badly? And did my storage actually do this? No, actually your storage didn't do that. You bought a crap book to begin with. I'm finding this more and more lately where I'm walking into shops and I will see books on the wall that are modern or late copper age books. And you go, oh, okay, that's a good quality book. I'm interested in that book. But the one thing that I do, and I've learned this lesson the hard way, is even though it might be a $20 or a $30 book, take it down and look at it. Don't just assume, okay, add that to my pile. No. Because for some reason what I'm noticing, and this is happening more in the States than I'm noticing it happening here, is what I'm seeing on the wall, and I'm not going to name names, but this is a couple specific shops I've gone to and I've noticed this. You've got a copper book or a modern book, and it's sitting up there priced at a 9.8 price, which is a way high price. Everybody wants a 9.8. I'm not looking for 9.8s. 8s and 9s are fine by me. But it's priced up at this high point, but then you take it down and you look at it, and the book has had the living tar beaten out of it. This adventure book, for example, was a wall book. A store presented it as a wall book and had it priced at your near mint plus point, whereas the book itself, before Kevin touched it, was sitting down here in your 6.0 range. It was rough. And even now, I'd say it may have only moved up to maybe a 7. Maybe. And that's not a slight on Kevin at all. That's just how badly the book had been mangled before he got his hands on it, which is a shame. So really, my message to dealers out there, unless it's golden age, if it's in crap condition, put it in a bin. Because it's almost to the point where, because of the mystique that goes with wall books, because even people keep boxes of wall books. Oh, do you need to see another box of my wall books? If you've got an idea of it's a wall book, it should be a wall book. If it's modern, it shouldn't be sitting in a lower grade on a wall. That goes in a bin. If somebody's looking for it in particular, they'll find it. If it's golden age or older, sure, I get it. It's been 60 years. Those things have had the crap kicked out of them. They're all going to be that way. But newer stuff, that's not cool. Just occurred to me. I just made a video on my reviews of somebody who's cleaned and pressed my comics, and I haven't actually told anyone what I think of cleaning and pressing, because I know this is a contentious issue with some people. And I've even seen YouTube videos where people are at their home with their own heat presses pressing comics and saying, this is how to press comics. Here's my thought process on this. If you take comics and you put them in bags and boards, and then you stand them up in boxes, and then you press them all together over time, because that's what you do. When you stand them up in boxes and you have enough of them in there, they're getting pressed. Over 10 years, they're going to flatten. Other things are going to happen to them as well, depending on the quality of the material that you actually store them with, but they're going to flatten. So what do I think of pressing? I have no issues with pressing. I will always disclose a book that's pressed. And I would expect that if I'm ever buying a book, that somebody should say to me, hey, this book has been pressed. The reason for that being is the long-term effects of pressing. Listen, we can all claim that there's nothing harmful, because there's no chemicals being used, to the books over time. But who knows? Maybe we're going to find 20 years from now that, oh, those crazy guys in the 90s and 2000s that pressed all their books, destroyed all these books and blah, blah. Who knows? But for now, I'm for it. I have no issues with that. Why do I use a local guy instead of one of the main grading services for pressing? Well, I'll tell you why. You can have your stuff pressed by certain third-party graders that encapsulate books. You can have them pressed by all sorts of people all over the place. Really, when it comes to pressing, my only qualifier is, was it done by a professional who's got years of experience doing this, and do they know what they're doing? Those are the two right there. Will I send something out to a third-party grader to get something pressed again? No, I had a horrendous experience with a book that took me a long time to find. Not a high-value book, but a very hard book to find, where I sent it off, had it pressed, and somehow it got smushed in the pressing. And I got a phone call and, oh, we're going to give you a $30 credit because that's what you declared it was worth on your form. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I know it's worth 30, but I had to spend over 100 to get it just because you couldn't find it. Listen, I'm not going to throw out allegations about people doing all sorts of crazy things. I know other people have. I honestly don't care. I'm not getting stuff graded anymore. I'm strongly against that. But I will tell you this much. I'm not going to send something in the mail to the southern United States to have it pressed when I got somebody local who can do it here. Second issue that comes up, cleaning. What do I think of cleaning? If you have something that looks like crap at day one, and then you can do something non-intrusive and non-damaging to the book, and it comes out not looking like crap on day two, I would argue that's a good thing. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but that's just my opinion. And really, dirt on the books? Why is there dirt on the books? Get the dirt off the books. I get that people did crazy things. They used to fold up comics, stick them in their back pocket, and run around. That's fine. But if you have the ability to get the dirt off the books, get that dirt off the books. So cleaning and pressing. Am I for them? Yes. Am I for them being done by a professional? Yes. Am I for them being done by an amateur? No. Am I for them being done by a third-party grading service? No. But that's my thoughts. Give me all this. Oh, give me this. Give me all this. Oh, give me this. Footage before, my sideburns were coming out like crazy octopus tentacles. They look like he could eat small children. And mental note to anybody who's growing sideburns or a beard, keep them trimmed, because if you got crazy hair, like it's like afro on the side of your head, just weird. Anyway, so Fixed. Here we are recording this. Back to the point.